It's January, so of course that means, as per usual, the Falcons season is over. Everyone give a big round of applause to Raheem Morris. He did learn how to use timeouts in the last game. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too late. And yes, we do have things to look forward to in the future, but right now, I'm just focused on the NFL playoffs. I am very much looking forward to being able to watch football and just enjoying it without the added stress that is the Atlanta Falcons. I swear last week, I thought I was going to vomit. Like, I've never been more anxious watching a football game in my life, and it turned out to not even matter. So, woohoo. But yes, Wildcard Weekend is almost here, so we're going to be doing some game predictions. We're going to start in the AFC, work our way over to the NFC, have a few talking points. It's going to be a good time, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I have something special planned there. And while you're at it, just go ahead, like the video, subscribe. It's not hard, just do it. All right, first starting in the AFC, we have the Chargers versus the Texans. And I don't know about y'all, but I think this is a pretty even matchup. On the offensive side of the ball, LA ranks 20th and Houston ranks 22nd, so obviously pretty close there. On the flip side, on the defense, LA ranks 11th and Texans ranked 6th. So really based off that, I don't expect this to be super high scoring really at all. I was at the Falcons game when they played the Chargers, and the Chargers did not manage to score a single offensive touchdown. Honestly, in the second half, they looked completely pitiful. The horrible Atlanta Falcons defense shut down them completely. Of course, the Falcons still managed to lose because Kirk Cousins threw 5 interceptions, including a pick 6, but that's not what we're talking about. Houston was in the playoffs last year. They have experience, but CJ Stroud hasn't looked quite as good as he was last year, along with the whole team, honestly. While the Chargers players might not be as experienced in the playoffs, Harbaugh definitely is. I think this is going to be a super close one, low scoring. I'm going to go with the Chargers 20-17. It could go either way. Obviously, that's just how it is in the NFL. But yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Chargers. I just think they have more momentum. I think they're better coached. I just think sometimes that's the way it shakes out.
Watch football.
Yeah.
Who's playing tonight?
Steelers and the Ravens.
Understandable.
All right, so now we're moving on to an awesome divisional matchup, the Steelers and the Ravens.
Steelers and the Ravens.
Look, let's be honest. Russell Wilson, I don't think he's it. All right, he's definitely not horrible. Like, I think he's still a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he hasn't exactly been elevating the Steelers' offense. And on the flip side of that, he doesn't really have much to work with. Pickens is very good. Najee Harris is serviceable, I guess, but this is not exactly a super explosive offense or anything like that. The Steelers do typically play the Ravens pretty well, but last time they matched up, they got absolutely destroyed. Lamar Jackson just pretty much had his way with the Steelers defense. So I don't really have a lot of faith in the Steelers right now. The Ravens have the number 1 offense in the league and the number 10 defense in the league. I just don't see a way in a playoff setting in Baltimore for the Steelers to overcome that. I'm sorry, Phil, but I'm going with the Ravens 13-24. All right, and our last game in the AFC is, of course, the Broncos and the Bills. This is a matchup I'm particularly excited for. To me, the story of this game is the Broncos' 7th-ranked defense versus the Bills' 10th-ranked offense. Obviously, the Bills have Josh Allen, who is a heavy MVP candidate. I would not at all be surprised if he won it, though personally my pick is Lamar Jackson. Also, on the flip side, speaking of quarterbacks, the quarterback for the Broncos is Bo Nix, who has been having a absolutely fantastic rookie season, but still, he is a rookie, and there's a reason that no rookie quarterback has ever led their team to a Super Bowl win. But yeah, in all seriousness, I think this is going to be a really good matchup. I actually think it's going to be high scoring. The Bills' defense isn't really anything special at all. I don't think they're like god-awful or anything, not even close to that, but like they're pretty average. The Broncos' defense obviously is very good, but I trust Josh Allen almost as much as anybody in the league, like I've said. So all that being said, I'm going to go with the Bills 31, Broncos 27. Again, lots of points being scored. I just think the more experienced team with the better quarterback is going to come out on top. All right, moving to the NFC, we have the Washington Commanders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to set my biases aside. Obviously, I do not like the Buccaneers. How could you tell? But yeah, I think these are actually legitimately two really great offenses. I think the Buccaneers offense is a little bit better than the Commanders offense, but the Buccaneers have an absolutely trash dog water defense, so I expect Jaden Daniels to kind of have his way in this one. I believe that Tampa Bay has like the third ranked offense in the league, but I think that's a little bit inflated because they're playing against the trash NFC South. I legitimately think the Falcons have the second best defense in this division and simultaneously a bottom five defense in the NFL. That's how trash this division is. That being said, Tampa. That being said, these two teams did actually match up earlier this season, and That being said, Tampa did match up. That being said, these two teams did match up earlier in the season, and Tampa dropped about 37 on top of Dan Quinn's head, which, in a weird backwards way, I was kind of happy to see. I expect multiple turnovers in this game. Baker's a little bit prone to them, and Jaden Daniels, of course, is a rookie, like I talked about with Bo Nix. But I still expect this one to definitely be sort of a shootout. But I'm going to go with the Buccaneers, actually, 31-28 over the Commanders. All right, moving on, we have the Vikings led by Sam Darnold and the Rams. I think the Vikings are very good on both sides of the ball. I just don't think they're great on either side of the ball. They do have a lot of great players, but nothing's quite come together. They're not really top 10 in either side of the ball, so it's going to be interesting to see what they kind of do there. The Rams obviously have a lot of potential to be explosive. They have a lot of playmakers on both sides of the ball. And they have potential, yeah, but all that being said, I'm going to go with the Vikings over the Rams, 387-0. And last but definitely not least, we have the Packers and the Eagles, the matchup I am most excited for. The Packers have the fifth best offense and fifth best defense in the league. So yeah, they're pretty elite. They were in the playoffs last year, so they are pretty experienced. But guess what? The Eagles have been in the playoffs plenty of times in the past few years. They have the best defense in the league and the eighth best offense in the league. That's going to be really hard to stop. If they get Saquon going, I really don't see this game going any other way. They're more experienced. I think they have the better quarterback. I don't really feel confident in saying that, but I think they do. I just expect this game to be really close. I don't expect it to be necessarily high scoring or low scoring. So I'm going to go with the Eagles 27 and the Packers 24. All right, I promised y'all something special at the end, so here it is. This is the sexiest throwback helmet in the league.
Wow.
Actually, it's just the sexiest helmet in the league. And we're going to do something special. It's going to predict its own playoff predictions. And we're going to compare them every week against mine and see who comes out on top. All right, first up, of course, is the Chargers and the Texans. And it looks like it's going to be the Texans. I drew a little Texan so you could see I'm not lying. All right, now the Steelers and the Ravens.
Steelers and the Ravens.
And it looks like the hat says it's going to be the Ravens. Here's a little bird I drew. The Broncos and the Bills. The Broncos. I didn't know how I was going to draw a horse. Commanders and Buccaneers. It's going to be the Buccaneers. I drew a tampon for, Tampon Bay Buckfucks. Vikings Rams. It's going to be the Rams. I drew a little Rammy. Mm-hmm. And finally, Packers Eagles. Oh, it's going to be the Packers, and I drew a little Tom Grassi. All right, that's going to be it for this one. I'm going to have my predictions right here. Here's the Sexy Helmets predictions, and we're going to see who comes out on top. I have a really bad feeling about it, but yeah, stay tuned next week, and you'll find out. I'll be back with more predictions, more Falcons content, so yeah, please stick around, like, subscribe, ring the little stupid little bell thing, all that good jazz. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.